Okay, part 3 of Shadow Generations, and like always, Sith and Blue with me.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
As Blue is asking in between parts where we're at, it's we just met um, Professor Gerald and Maria. And
Right.
now we have to do all of these. Oh, hold on, back out. Back out. I want to change the music.
So did we do? Oh, okay. So we were in Kingdom Valley earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I doing? I'm surfing. Destroy the targets with surf spin. Let's see. Would be a good one.
So, do you feel as though the change of music makes your performance better when you're going through these stages?
Nah, just mixing it up. It's a feature I do like using.
Base in Kingdom Valley.
I don't like the controls and everything.
Yeah, the surfing was. I don't know. It's okay. Definitely unexpected for Shadow.
Speaking of Kingdom Valley on Sonic 6, did you guys hear about the news that the original creator of Sonic 06, Nakamura, actually wants to do, or should I say, he has interest of doing a remake for Sonic 06?
Oh, he stated interest in it. Okay.
Yeah. There was an interview that happened over in Asia, and he was one of the people to be in the panel, and they asked him about, the original games, but there was one particular thing where he responded that he would love to make a remake for Sonic 06 itself.
Now, he's a former staff of Sega, right?
He's still a part of Sega, actually, part of the Sonic team,
Oh, okay.
but he's just no longer a director itself. Like, he doesn't really is the head honcho, but he still works with them. Like, I've seen his works with. He's like a producer nowadays, whatnot, but he's not a director. His last directing project was Sonic 06.
I see.
They should do it, but just don't turn it into a boosting game.
And that is what I did watch from a video, whereby the guy said the exact same thing, whereby they said here that if they do make a remake, it most likely will cater to fans that wasn't for the original game. Because apparently, the original fans love the way how Sonic 06 was. And that's why some of them didn't like how Project 06 was. Because Project 06 changed up stuff that was different from how the game's supposed to be.
I'm a bit confused there because Project 06 to me is fixing what 06 is.
It is a reimagining. It's not really fixing the problems. It's not like a direct fix, personally, because the way how the game feels is completely different of how Sonic 06 would be fixed in a way.
Okay.
Because you got new movesets, you got new moves, different physics of how the character control, different ways how the game plays. You know how like Rouge's treasure hunting in 06 is different compared to Project 06. They changed it, isn't it? They had like an actual meter now that you can check out.
Oh yeah. Like in that.
So people don't like the whole changes. Like, if it was supposed to be fixing the problem, then it would be more like the Sonic 06 mod on Xenia, Legacy of Solaris, because that's a fix itself. Like, they didn't change anything there. It's just that lower loading times and fixes some of the glitches as well from that mod project. But everything's left intact. So that's why original 06 fans, if there was a remake, they would want it to be like in its purest form, to be fixed in, the the glitches and problems around it, but don't make it into, a modern Sonic game as of now, or don't change the story whereby it's all kiddie-like and whatnot, those type of stuff.
Okay. I still have to play the Legacy of Solaris, right? That's the mod.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Legacy of Solaris is just like Sonic 06 original, but just fixed up glitches and whatnot.
Okay. I mean, I only have my experience with playing Project 06, but if you were to ask me, I would say that Project 06 is beautiful.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't mind the changes that they added, like the meter for looking for the keys in 06, just like in treasure hunting.
yeah.
I'm fine with that. As a
Does
matter
it
of
really
fact,
even need a meter though? I guess maybe for
because
Knuckles and Flame Core, but I don't think that game really needed a meter.
um, you know, I remember Rouge's stage more. I mean, I could see it being used for Rouge's stage in Kingdom Valley, like her trying to find the keys. That makes sense. With Knuckles stage and Flame Core, I don't really recall much. Like, what was he trying to find? Because all I remember was him trying to like light up those balls in Flame Core. Like,
Yeah, he was lining up. He was trying to help them out the way around
Yeah.
to it. But yeah, the actual combat elements in Project 06 definitely made it different compared to the original 06 because it felt more like original adventure in a way. So there's some indifference that people liked or not there.
So what feels more like the original adventure? Legacy of Solaris or PO6?
PO6, PO6.
Okay.
Yeah, it had like original adventure elements, had some modern elements into it as well, the gameplay as well. So there was lots of different changes that some original fans, like even one person that we do know that was in our group as well. When he was talking about Project 06, he said he didn't like it as well because of how flowy the movement is. See, so he's a big fan of the original 06. He likes it. So even he saw the differences.
I see. I think he liked Legacy of Solaris, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, he was just talking about original 06. He's never played the Legacy of Solaris project.
Okay.
But he was just talking in comparison to 06 and Project 06. That he just prefers the original 06 better.
Okay. I would assume then he would prefer the Legacy of Solaris then.
Yeah. He would, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that looks. Bye bye, Shadow. He got squeezed into a pancake there.
It really just depends on who you ask, really. Is, if you like Project 06, because most of the people that likes it is usually the people that just did not like 06 originally, I would say, or people that was okay with 06. But like the biggest fans of 06 usually have some sort of issues one and another around to it. But with the new idea, if they did remake it, I still think there's going to be changes. It's not going to be original like how original 06 was. I don't think the story is going to be like the way how it was there.
Yeah, I guess I would fall under thinking that 06, like vanilla 06, the gameplay was okay. I don't know. I love the story because I think they used the characters well enough that it wasn't like, oh, like one character had more screen time than the other. I think all three of the hedgehogs, had their fair share. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually I'll check out the Legacy of Solaris to see like if there's any differences. I'm open to trying it out.
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
I've only seen gameplay of it on YouTube. I've only seen videos of it. I've never played it myself. But for what it is, I can see that it's gonna be a more fun experience for original fans of the game.
I see. Okay.
Speaking of the Sonic 06 story, there was also rumors that there could potentially be a movie based around Sonic 06 story as well, which I don't know if that is going to be very credible or not. like if they would actually have a team to actually make a movie based around Sonic 06 story itself. Because the way how the movies are going now, I don't really think so, but it might be a possibility in the future. Who knows?
Yeah, like it's weird though because this upcoming movie, Sonic 3, which is going to be based on, SA2. We haven't seen any Roos or Amy who were pretty much key players in, Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic 06. So, for me, I see it as unlikely that they're going to use that version of Sonic to retell Sonic 06. So, if they're going to make a movie, I feel that it might just be like its own thing.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's possible that they use that version of Sonic.
Yeah, even if like the Sonic movie is making the stories from the games, we all know there's gonna be a twist somewhere or somewhat. It's not gonna be like 100% Sonic Adventure 2 story in the movies. Yeah, they will have references of the movie around to it, but seeing how the movie is talking about that Eggman and Sonic needs to work together to fight against Shadow, that's a complete original story of its own.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not really like SA2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's why I'm thinking with Sonic 06, it could be possible that they could have references from that game as well, whereby they'll take all the good stuff that they think that was good in the story and then make an original story out of it.
So if they were to make a movie out of it, then that means that it's most likely we'll see someone like Elise then.
Well, most importantly, it's going to be Silver. Silver's going to be added into it, number one. Elise could be added to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then perhaps they have some sort of story of Solaris as well, innit?
Yeah. Well, only time will tell what kind of movie we'll be getting after Sonic 3.
Yeah. Because we already know that, like, with how the studios are looking for all these movies, they're definitely going to keep on making more of these movies as we go on. It was like Sonic the Hedgehog movies turned into a series like Fast and Furious, that we're always going to get those.
I wonder because I think for Jim Carrey, the actor who plays Dr. Eggman, that will be his last role.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, I mean, not to say that they can't make any more Sonic movies, it's just, I'm just wondering if that specific version of Sonic will continue.
Oh, yeah. If they did get new actors, I wonder how the fans would feel though about it.
Yeah. Usually when, a change happens, everyone would either hope for the best or they would be like, oh no, why are you doing such a thing? Like, everybody got used to, so and so.
Yeah.
But
But you have to get used to it all over again.
Alright, so right now as we're looking at the gameplay, it seems that Jim just has to do a couple more challenges. He just picked up a key there.
Oh, I still got Sunset Heights. Or do I?
Seems like the challenges are a bit more longer compared to the original generations.
Oh yeah. They some are short though. It depends on challenge because I remember like doing some at the Arc and they were just like a breeze.
Chaos control.
But which would you guys say has got the better hubboard? This game or Sonic Frontiers?
Oh, I would say Frontiers. However, I like how Shadow moves here more than he does, more than Sonic does in Frontiers.
Yeah.
I feel that in Frontiers, Sonic was a bit stiff, and then here he's more fluid. Well, at least in the cyberspace levels, Sonic is stiff. And then in the open stages, like the open zones, as they called it, when Sonic is traveling through the islands, Sonic felt more fluid there. So I should clarify that.
Yeah, because I was only just referencing just the open zones places, not cyberstage. There's no
Yeah,
zones against this zone. I mean, this hub world for what Shadow's doing right now.
yeah. So I would say I prefer Frontiers, but this ain't bad either.
Yeah.
Like this holds well on its own.
But you say like as in the world, is it because of how Frontiers one looks itself,
Yeah.
why you prefer it better? And there's like a bit more other stuff that you can talk to more people there.
Yeah. I mean, although I don't know if I could say that you're talking to a lot of people in Frontier since it's only really just the main cast in like different areas. I guess because I know that Frontiers is a full game, whereas Shadow the Hedgehog, or Shadow Generations, excuse me, is only like an extension of what Sonic Generations is.
Right.
I will say the combat system for Shadow is pretty awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And just to add to that, like I think back of Sonic's combat in Frontiers and how he was able to like put his own projectiles in that game, and it makes me wonder like if a two-player game could actually happen between these two hedgehogs. We have Shadow and Sonic. Like imagine they made a game with that kind of gameplay and you had to like fight each other. Like I think it would be pretty cool.
So, as a game that they're fighting against each other, like a fighting game.
Yeah, like how in Sonic Heroes, like there's like this arena mode where you have to fight each other.
Yeah.
Like imagine something like that, but with like the gameplay of Shadow Generations and Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah, I think every type of Mario play could happen in the Sonic games. Like even when you said they were like that, I think it's definitely possible. It's just really just dependent on is that even an idea for Sonic Team to do in the first place, really? Because I don't think they've really even cared about thinking about online for these type of games, let alone local Mario play. The only time they ever do Mario play for their games is if it's like a 2D Sonic game, like with Superstars and Sonic Mania.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder what's the reasoning behind that because, like, I don't know, like, a lot of franchises and games in general are just lacking that, like, local multiplayer aspect. Like, you look at Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, I mean, like, it has it, but just limited to one stage. And that was because initially, Famco just wanted to have the game like just solely focused online.
Right.
And we're looking at this game for example, Sonic X Shadow Generations. Like, yeah, I think it could have had multiplayer.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of games right now for Sonic could have multiplayer, even Frontier. But I don't know. I feel that Sega just thinks that fans don't care. That's what I'm getting at here.
Yeah, it feels like that because whenever people do ask for multiplayer, and I've seen this from communities, it has been the minority that has been asking for it as a feature. It's never been one of the requested answers. Like, whenever, I remember there was like a little questionnaire that was happening with the director of Frontiers, and not really anyone talked about multiplayer in the game at all. Like, would Sonic ever have multiplayer to it? Like, he answered some of the questions, but none of the main popular ones was ever multiplayer related. So it is a question, but it's always like a tiny discussion that only few people ask about.
Yeah, like, and to me, it's just mind-boggling because when you start off with a game like Adventure 2 that features multiplayer, then follow up with Heroes, and then Shadow the Hedgehog even having its own two-player, like, how could the future titles not have anything like that?
Yeah. Every title after Sonic Adventure 1 for the old Sonic team, they all had multiplayer in it, including Sonic 06. But then, as soon as Sonic 06 was done, the new Sonic team, they only focused on one-player experience only with these games, and they never really thought about it again with trying to combine multiplayer into it.
Yeah, like, it seems that, like, 06 was just, like, the deciding factor, like, okay, we need to go back to the board and just, like, reimagine Sonic,
Yeah.
And by doing that, they just completely eliminated the whole multiplayer aspect.
Yeah.
And I would not count Sonic Colors because that's like some co-op mode that you have to share your screen with.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, isn't all that great because it kind of takes longer to complete a stage when you're doing that with two players versus when you do it by yourself.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And that's why I like the old Sonic team, because it was always about lots of different ideas added in or implemented into their games. And they wanted to have some sort of like a big Sonic universe with adding all these characters, adding all these different worlds. But this new Sonic team, they just know that it's all about trying to make sure that everyone's happy in a way that the game feels fun to play. And that's it. No new changes into it. It's just, having a formula that works and then keeping it going like that, one or another.
Yeah. I mean, right now, like, from the looks of it, is they seem to be taking this format that Frontiers had and carrying it on for future games, with, this one being a prime example.
Yeah. Because if people like Frontiers and have made, it was the biggest selling 3D Sonic game of all time, then they're definitely gonna carry on along with it. That there's no really need to make any changes to it. Have Sonic in this world and you just keep it running, and then have the main characters like Tails, Knuckles, and Amy in it, along with Eggman, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, keys collected.
You have enough keys? Oh yeah, you do. Okay. Jim, I want to ask you something. When you were playing those talent stages, how did you think it felt? Like, did it feel smooth?
Yeah, they're fine.
They're
Massive
fine, right?
improvement over Frontier's subspaces.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I was going to go. It amazes me how these challenge stages, they play so smooth, but then with Frontiers, for some reason, it just didn't play like, easily. Like, you could die and fall off because you made a sharp turn, or you just didn't jump high enough or something like that. And I'm looking at this, like the 2D gameplay for Sonic X Shadow Generation, and it's pretty much like how Sonic Forces played.
Yeah, you can definitely see that this looks like a completed project. That the Shadow X Generations is way easier to create because probably there's less assets or less things to do. But in Frontiers, that looks like a very massive project, and it just looks unfinished for most parts. And to have like different movements as well, which is very strange as well. Like you have that really nice movement in Frontiers whereby it's open zone stage that a lot of people love it, but then when it comes to Cyber Stage, it's just as you said, it's very stiff.
Yeah.
But he could have just had just the same movement the whole way through.
Like I just wonder, like, what happened there. Like, why is it so smooth in the open zones and not the cyber stages? Because it's the same game, but you would think that, it would play, similarly, but they
Yeah.
don't.
Absolutely. But yeah, here comes another boss whereby people say that current Shadow with no Chaos Emeralds can beat a Mega Boss in the original game that you needed Chaos Emeralds for.
So this is like the same thing with Sonic versus Perfect Chaos.
Yeah. At
So-
this time, I don't think there was in space, but they were very close to the sky, like to the atmosphere, around Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, in Heroes, yeah, when they were fighting Metal Overload, yeah, they were like definitely in the sky.
Yeah, but they didn't go like all the way into space.
No.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of like weird at this point that we're fighting like the way how it is down
Like,
below.
in the ocean.
Yeah, in the ocean. Yeah.
Just wanted to use the Doom Search.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's an excuse to use Savage ability.
Yeah. And that's why there was a little conversation I had with someone as well recently about this, and I said that certain franchises you can't get away with disrespecting the lore, and they brought up Dragon Ball Z as an example because of the Dragon Ball Evolution movie. Yeah,
Okay.
is that the lore of that one was completely off, and we want proper accurate representation of the lore. But when it comes to Sonic of lore, everyone's like, nah, just, it doesn't really matter. You don't need to think about it. You don't need to care about it. We can do this. It's fine. And that's the thing. It's those standards that certain franchises have a lot of respect that you can't do stuff like this, but stuff like Sonic, stuff like Mario, they can get a slap on the wrist when stuff like this happens.
Yeah. It kind of goes to show you how each community thinks differently about their franchise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why we see, genies in Sonic games. That's why we see aliens in space. We see all this stuff. And then, we see, previous laws being retconned. It doesn't matter, but yeah. Imagine if this happened. Like, imagine Sparking Zero had a story and it just changed everything, whereby Goku never defeated Raditz. It was actually Vegeta that came out of nowhere and stopped Raditz instead. People will go insane about it. They'll just go nuts about it. Be like, you're disrespecting the lore of Dragon Ball Z. You're disrespecting the plot. Can't make that happen.
Yeah, I see. It's funny because, like, you look at Sonic and when you think of the origins of Sonic, like, he doesn't really have any. And you know how they include the bird as the parent Sonic?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I guess in that sense, like, okay, they could be, like, loose with it because, it was never really mentioned, like, who Sonic's parents were, or why is he even fast to begin with.
Wasn't it referenced in Sonic Underground, like his parents, at one point?
I have not seen Sonic Underground, but it would make sense because he has his siblings there, right?
Yeah, he has his siblings, yeah. And there was like a picture, there was a photo, and it shows their parents as well, which were hedgehogs.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So perhaps Sonic Underground might be the true origin of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, it's definitely better than having pigeons as your mother. Yeah.
Adopting Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing's looking at Shadow again.
It's kind of creepy.
Shadow? Are you in pain?
No. I feel a connection to the symbol in the sky. It's the same tingle as my new abilities.
It is the power of Black Doom.
Grandfather?
I made a Faustian deal with that monster to create Shadow. Now it seems that we all have to pay for my sins.
So my powers, that symbol, they're all connected.
Maria's illness couldn't be treated on Earth. I could better manage her condition on the Ark, even if her family didn't like the idea. I attempted to develop the ultimate life form as a means to find a cure for Maria. My own experiments reached their frustrating limits. So when that alien warlord reached out to me and offered the miracle of chaos control, I accepted it. Through his DNA, the ultimate life form was born. Black Doom wanted me to make the perfect warrior for him, so these new abilities are all part of his grand design. You two are linked by blood. As you grow in power, so does he. He will either take control of your mind and make you his ultimate weapon, or take over your body and be reborn in you.
You made me the ultimate life form, Professor. Black Doom is a fool. I'll take this power and use it as my own.
You know, it's funny because as Sonic fans, we already knew that Black Doom wanted to make Shadow his ultimate weapon anyway, if you played, you know, Shadow the Hedgehog. But the whole part that's new is Black Doom wanting to take over Shadow's body and make it his own.
Reminds me of Orochimaru and Naruto.
Oh, with Sasuke, yeah.
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 He's taking his time for it. I mean, there's a couple of things I was watching that cutscene for. The one weirdest one was that Maria thing when she what's it called? Gerald was explaining about what was going on, and then she was like, "Oh my goodness," and she was like backing away. It felt like she was the cause of it, but it was really Shadow and Black Doom. It's just weird how the cutscene looked at that point there, how she reacted to it. That's one thing that was kind of weird to me.
Oh, like how did Maria look?
Yeah, she was putting her hands across her mouth and then walking backwards. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe it that they're both linked together.
Oh, yeah. Like you would think that she would know that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Squid.
Alright, now you got the Doom morph, which makes you look like some sort of squid.
And here's a question as well from the cutscene as well. So this whole experimentation that Gerald Robotic wanted to do to find a cure for Maria by creating the ultimate life form, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he wanted to do. Did
Yeah.
he ever tell Gunn about that? Or they're just retconning Gunn at this point?
Yeah, it's all there.
I'm assuming Gunn knew about it.
So why do they want to shut? Oh, they want to shut down the experiment because they know about Black Doom? Is that how the new storyline is gonna be? That they already know
No.
who Black Doom is?
It's gonna be when the Chaos Experiments rampage.
Okay, so the artificial chaos, they went berserk because of the Black Doom aliens?
No. Well, what did the journal say? The journal explains everything. What did they say? Oh, I think it was because of Emerald.
Oh, Emerald.
He handed them all because, like, Professor Gerald's getting like major pressure from the government. So he handed them Emerald to get off his back, and then they turned him into a weapon, and he rampaged, and his rampage just caused the AI and artificial intelligence, or the artificial chaos, to go crazy too.
Okay, so the Black Doom's race had nothing to do with it. But then, if we go back as
No,
to
they were pretty much
uh,
gone at that point.
why they saw Shadow as a threat, was it because of his link to the Black Arms race?
Sonic Frontiers, we're in the future again.
I love this remix.
Was this a theme in Sonic Frontiers?
Yeah, it's probably really
Yes. You'll hear it right here. Yeah, that part.
You know the funny thing about this though is that this stage has no representation of the cyberspace stage. This is open zone, isn't it?
Yeah, this is an open zone. Yep.
Yeah. So
That's
they
turned into a
put
stage.
yeah. They put more thought into the open zone part than the actual stages. Because if this was cyber stage, they know that people will be like, "Oh man, this doesn't look good. It doesn't look unique."
Nah, so actually, this itself is unique because we've never seen the open zones look like a stage.
Yeah, and it kind of puts Sonic Frontiers into shame because imagine if cyberspace looked like this.
Oh, so much better.
Yep.
Or not even just the need for cyberspace. Just imagine doing a stage within the island like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have made the game like way better for sure. So we can say that Shadow was here first before Sonic.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
This is the ultimate
I was not aware of that path. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. He went somewhere.
down. Yeah.
You know, one thing that's interesting though from Sonic Team or modern Sonic Team is that with this new Shadow side, they want to create a story that is deeper than the lore of Shadow. But when it comes to Sonic, they never want to make a serious lore for Sonic or something that has more depth into it.
Yeah. I mean, you could say perhaps Frontiers was trying to get serious, but yeah, not in relation to Sonic as a character, really.
It was really everyone else away from Sonic, really, because Sonic
Yeah.
really didn't have anything of the connection to it. The Sonic was just going to save his friends, that's it. But
Yeah.
everything around it, like the seriousness of Sonic Frontiers was the connection between Eggman and that robot, the AI.
Yeah, Sage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed more about Eggman and Sage than it did about Sonic.
Yeah. But then when you have Shadow as the main character, there's a lot of lore for this guy in this game. So why can't we make a character like Sonic to be very interesting and have his lore or anything around to it?
Yeah, it's like... See, that's why I like 06 and the adventure games. And pretty much anything 06 and prior.
Yeah.
Because, they were definitely going, deep with the storytelling. And even though they didn't get to, like, Sonic's origins exactly, you can definitely tell, like, the characters were being fleshed out.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't any Sonic origins in those games, but at least they made Sonic in a lot of places relevant that he needed to be there, in a way.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like, oh yeah, save your friends and stuff, that joke. There was a lot of different storytelling with Sonic in lots of different scenarios to make him different in each case of the games. So that's acceptable. But it's just like in Sonic Generations and beyond, it's just really save his friends, really. That's been always the idea.
Yeah, it's like there's really no strong connection between the protagonist and the antagonist, really. It's
Yeah.
just like a black and white situation. There's really no, like, gray.
Yeah. And then when you see Shadow here, it's just that when people say, oh man, this is such a great adventure or great game. It's just like, oh yeah, it's because of how they actually want to put story behind it. They didn't have to do it. They didn't have to tell that Marie has an illness. They didn't have to say that Emerald is a part of this at all, but they decided to do it anyway. Because apparently it's Shadow.
Yeah, Sonic is not getting that treatment for some reason.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, Sonic's for kids, but Shadow, he's for older kids. The 8 and 9-year-olds that
Oh
can
my
actually
God.
comprehend story now. It's like,
I
oh
hope
yeah,
the case.
you was watching Teletubbies, now you're watching Power Rangers.
Yeah.